All right, so let's do the last little section. So this will be our last video, and this time they don't give you the graphs, and you're gonna have to solve. So we're actually only gonna do sketches of graphs. These are not gonna be exact graphs. So just take note, we're gonna go ahead and do a sketch. And the key thing we're gonna find are the x-intercepts, because remember, our solutions are the x-intercepts. So we're gonna find x-intercepts first. So first step is to set equation equal to 0. Let me actually say, set equation equal to 0. So we've already set that, so we've got x squared plus 4x equals 0. Step 2 then is to factor. And in order to factor this one, there's only 2 terms. First thing you always do with factoring is greatest common factor. So I can divide both of those by an x, and then when you divide x squared by x, you get just x, and 4x divided by x is plus 4. Step 3 I'm going to write over here. Step 3 is to find the zeros. So the way you do that is you set each factor equal to 0. So one of our zeros is just plain old x equals 0. And the other one, you set x plus 4 equal to 0, and then you solve for x. So I'll subtract a 4 from both sides, so we get x equals -4. At this point, what I want you to do is go to the graph and just put a point at 0, a point at -4, and then I just want you to just roughly sketch a parabola. It's not exact, so kind of just scribble out the y-axis, because we're not doing exact sketches. I just want you to see roughly what the graph should look like. And that is how you would do it. So let's go ahead and do a couple more. And I'm going to have you just go ahead and do a parabola going up. We call that concave up, so just so you know. So same idea for this next one. So set the equation equal to 0. When you do that, let's always make sure our x squared is positive. So we've got 0 equals x squared minus 2x plus 1. If you remember a couple times ago, I talked about a shortcut for 3-term problems as long as this first number is a 1. So we still do our 1 times 1, which is 1. Put the -2 up top. And then we're going to look for factors of 1 that add up to -2. So -1 times -1 gives you a positive 1. But then -1 plus -1 gives you a -2. So those are the 2 factors. So since this number right here was a 1, I can go ahead and go straight to my answer. I do not have to do grouping method. And I'm going to go ahead and write x minus 1, because this is -1, and then x minus 1 because the other one is 1. Okay, we've factored like step 2, so we've done step 1, we've done step 2. So then we go to step 3, which is find our zeros. And both of these are actually the exact same, so I can just do this step once. I just set x minus 1 equal to 0. And then you get x equals positive 1. So I go to positive 1 on my x-axis, and then I just want you to just roughly, remember I don't care what this is, just roughly draw a parabola going up. All right, let's see another one. So number 12, once again we need to get it equal to 0. So in order to do that, I want to keep the x squared positive, so I'm going to go ahead and add 6x and 5 to the other side. So those will cancel. Now when you do that, just be aware that I can't combine the x squared and 6x because they don't have the same exponent. So you're just going to write it in standard form as x squared plus 6x plus 5 equals 0. And now we're set to go ahead and factor. So 1 times 5 is 5. Put the 6 up top. And then we're going to find factors of 5 that add up to 6. So 1 times 5 gives you 5, but 1 plus 5 gives you 6. Now we're allowed to skip the intermediate steps because there's a 1 in front. So we'll just write x plus 1 because of this 1, and then x plus 5 because of the 5 we just found. So we're using those two numbers. And all this equals 0. Okay, we factored, so now we find our zeros. So I'm going to take x plus 1 and set it equal to 0 and solve by subtracting 1. So x equals -1. And then this one, we've got x plus 5 equals 0. So I'll solve by subtracting 5, so you get x equals -5. And then once again, I'm going to have you put both of those down. So we've got -1, -5. Remember, we don't care about what the y-axis says because this is a sketch. And then just draw a parabola. All right, final problem I want to do. Once again, I like the x squared to stay positive. So if it's already positive, I'm going to move everything else over. So those cancel. And you get... So nothing can combine, they're not like terms. So we get x squared minus 5x plus 4 equals 0. Now I'm going to take my first number and multiply it by the last so we can factor. That's 4. Put the -5 right here up top. So now we're looking for factors of 4 that add up to -5. So that would be -4 and -1, because -4 times -1 is a positive 4, but -4 plus -1 is a -5. Since we have that 1 in front, we can do our shortcut, and you just do x minus 4, and then x minus 1. Now we're going to go ahead and find our factors. So x minus 4 equals 0, or our zeros, I should say. So x equals positive 4 for that one. Then I'll take x minus 0, set it equal to 0. So x equals positive 1 for that one. And I'm going to go ahead and put a point at 1, point at 4 on the x-axis, and then just draw a U.